All right, guys, the day 11 notes are really just practice. So I'm going to do one of each type of question just so you can see them done one more time. So the very first one, I'm going to label with the parts that they gave us. So it says that segment PC is 8, segment CD is 12, segment PA is 10, and find the measure of AB. So I'm going to call this X. From there, what I have to look at is what formula do I need? Well, these are secants where part of the line's outside, part's inside. So this is the rule where we do outside times the whole thing equals the outside times the whole secant. So I want to label those pieces. So for the first one, the outside part would be the 10. This whole thing would be x plus 10. So there's the whole secant. And then for the other one, I'm going to grab my red pen here. The outside would just be the 8. The whole thing is the sum of 12 and 8 together. So 12 plus 8 would be 20. That's the whole piece of it. Now we can plug in. So the outside, 10, times the whole thing of x plus 10 is equal to the outside, 8, times the whole thing of 20. And then you can solve from here. So I need to distribute on the left. So 10x plus 100. And then on the right, 8 times 20 should be 160. Subtract 100 over so that you get 10x equals 60. And then divide by 10. You come out with x equals 6. And since that was the length of AB, there you go. There's your answer. All right, that's the first one done. The second one was the next type of question that looked very similar to that, but was a little bit different here. It's saying in the diagram, we have PB, so this little segment here is 2. BC, this part of it is 6. And it's asking you to find the measure of PA. All right, so in this case, we have the outside piece. We got the whole thing, so I'm going to label that right now as 8. So the outside's 2, the whole thing's 8. The other part of it, the outside is the whole thing, which means what we have here is this is the tangent. So the rule that used a tangent and then a secant was the tangent squared equals the outside times the whole secant. So the tangent is the x squared, and then the outside times the whole thing. So this one comes out nice and pretty. They're not always pretty, but x squared equals 16. Take the square root, you come out with x equals 4. So PA is 4. Done. All right. There was one other segment rule, and that is this one at the bottom here. So when I slide up so you can see the one at the bottom, it says in the diagram you have AB is 14. Now that's the whole length. So I'm not going to label that just yet. AE is 5. And so if AB, the whole thing is 14, and that little piece is 5, if we do 14 minus 5, that'll give you 9. That's this length over here. So that's 9. I'm going to label that part of it. All right. CE is 3, and they're asking us to find CD. Ooh, this one's tricky. So CD is the whole chord. Keep that in mind. So that full length. For right now, though, I'm going to call just ED, just this piece of it, X. The reason being is the rule for this one, we wrote it as just, segment 1 times segment 2, and then equals segment 3 times segment 4. Or maybe we even wrote it as just like A times B equals C times D, depending on which notes you might have looked at. But the idea is you're just multiplying the parts of the segments. So in this case, like 3 times X, and then would equal the product of the parts of the other segment. So then 9 times 5. And so when we go to solve, we get 3x equals 45. Divide by 3. X comes out to be 15. But you want to remember, what did we let x be equal to? I made x equal to segment ED. Since we're looking for the whole thing from C to D, that would then be 3 plus the 15 that we just found for a total of 18 is the answer there. So some of the questions are a little bit trickier than the others. You just have to read really carefully. All right. I wanted to do one other question, I think, with you in here. And let me see, which one was it? Oh, that was question number 7. Now, of course, you can do as much or as little of this packet as you like. Just use it simply as practice. But the last one to look at on the video is number 7. Let me try to zoom in on this picture here. Let's see. Try that again. Whoa, I just rotated you upside down. Woohoo. All right, having all sorts of fun with that. Okay, there we go. So this last one, oh, my family's taking out the puppy. The last one, if we look at it, it says we have a diameter that is perpendicular to the chord. That is key. Perpendicular to the chord means that it bisects the chord. So right here, here's the diameter. It's cutting the chord into 2 equal parts. So we can mark those 2 equal parts. Now let's label everything else. AE is 27. So this piece is 27. EB is 3. And then find the measure of CD. Well, we know that CE and ED are equal to each other. So I'm going to label both of those X. All right. Same rule as the last one we just did. These 2 segments multiplied together are going to be equal to those 2 segments multiplied together. All right, let's do it. So X times X is going to be equal to 3 times 27. All right, we get X squared equals 81. Take the square root. It comes out nice and pretty to be 9. But then remember what the question was asking for. This is 9 and that's 9. So CD is that whole length. So it'd be 9 plus 9 or 18. All right. Hope those extra videos helped out. Make sure to move on to day 12 where we have the equations of circles to talk about. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.